Welcome everyone, it's Saturday night and the feeling's right, and we're going in a very, very different direction for a one-day special on a Saturday night. You're going to love this because to a lot of respects, actually, in terms of fabric and soft craft, we are going to go back to basics, and our one-day special is a two-in-one. I want it already just seeing the one, but you wait until you see the two. It's really, really good. And with me for the one-day special throughout the next 24 hours, slightly less than 24 hours actually, because you have less live shows on today's one-day special as well, is the gorgeous Hayley West. Good evening.
What a build-up.
Look at you, riot of colour today.
Oh, bless you, yeah. Well, it's on, you know, like in the morning, when the alarm goes off, you're like, what do I need? I need some colour. And there you go. That's what came out.
There's every destination on earth that we can't go anywhere near right now. She's got Ibiza and New York and absolutely Cuba. And she's a whole set of holidays in one. Right, let's look at our one-day special then, because this is actually a bit of a dream, actually, and something that looks really, really sophisticated and has many, many uses, Hayley, all in one.
It is, and I've been using these for a long, long time. We've got choices with regards to the one-day special, so the details on your screen are showing you all the different options. We've got a fifth one that I think we're going to show you on a picture.
Yeah,
but
stitch in time.
This is a brilliant, brilliant one-day special because they are the fundamentals. How often do we talk about having the right products to get started? I've got mine here. Shall I show you quickly what we've got here? Yes, because I've got all mine four neatly in a row. I just know I'm going to knock them all over. So you show us yours. So obviously you've got the iron, which we'll talk about, and we'll get the iron working in a few moments. But just to show you, I mean, that's a steam iron as well. So not just a regular iron, steam iron, so you can use it in loads of different ways. Perfect for things like your dressmaking as well as your quilting. I know we say no to steam usually when we are talking quilting, but sometimes steam can be your friend, especially if you are manipulating those elements, and especially if you are a newbie. And I was hoping that maybe the next kind of few hours that we're talking with the one-day special, we go back to basics, as Derek said there, but back to basics with you guys as well. So if you are new to quilting or thinking about quilting, fire your questions at us. We will be helping you get through those first kind of tentative steps, which can be some of the biggest steps if you've never quilted before, so do get in touch.
Well, now, quilting, Hayley, doesn't it? It comes with its own language.
It does,
and
yes.
I think sometimes if you don't understand the tools, the term, should I say, then you back away and you just go, well, that's obviously not for me. I don't understand what a dart is or a block is. Yes, I have no idea. This is not for me. But stick around, because honestly, we'll do like an A to Z. It'll be brilliant. Literally,
we are taking it right the way down. So your mat, what you've got here is a fabulous mat, which obviously it's hinged in the centre there, so it is perfect straight away if it's going to go into your craft bag. If you're limited on area, which many of us are, we are sharing our craft rooms at the moment with other people. You all right, David? And of course, you might be kind of moving from room to room. So the beauty of this one is it opens out and it is a double kind of spread with regards to a pressing mat. And have a look at the depth that you've got with regards to this one. You've got a lot of sponginess in there, but it's bouncing back, so it's giving you that support. Also brilliant as well, because when you're working, if you do need to kind of stick your pins in to keep pieces in place, then it is padded enough for you to actually do that. So lovely. And as I say, I use these over and over again. But then on the inside, now you were saying it's a two-in-one one-day special. Well, it's actually more than a two-in-one, because this actual mat itself is probably, well, it's a three-in-one, because we've looked at one already. Number two, you've got a cutting mat, and you've got, obviously you've got your inches around the edges there, and then obviously your squares are broken down into your 1/4 inches, which of course is something that we always use when we are quilting. You've also got your finer gradients here as well, so you've got your 1/8 running down the ruler system at the side here, and the 1/8 and your imperial go all the way round the edge there. But they haven't forgotten that you might want to work in centimetres, so you have got your centimetre rule working with this as well. So you have got those all there ready for you to go with. Then you've got this section over at the side here. And what you've got is a very clever little cover, and that cover actually covers an area where you've got kind of like a grip mat. Now the idea behind this, it almost feels a little bit like sandpaper, but it's not as grating as sandpaper. The idea with this one is that you are literally popping down your pieces. So it might be that you're planning out your quilt block, so you're taking your pieces and you're laying them down, and it might be that you're playing around with your different design or constructing your applique, and basically you might think, right, I've got to pack up now. So what you do is you bring that fabric across, it keeps everything in place, and you can literally take it off wherever you need to take it, bring it back, and then when you open it up, you've got all those elements there that you can literally have back in place, and off you go again.
Just very, very quickly on the mat, Hayley, what's the biggest block measurement we can work with on the actual mat?
If you're looking at the inches here, you're looking at 8 inches by 11 inches there. So
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it's good size.
I think this is really, really good, and I know lots of people who've got this kind of thing because it just makes so much sense. When you see a lot of fabric craft projects being done, you start off with big pieces of fabric and you work your way to very much smaller pieces of fabric. And the key to good, particularly quilting, is press, press, press. I mean, I've watched lots and lots of craft experts over the years quilting, and they've said, right, OK, I'm finger pressing this now just for speed, but you will press. So when you hear the terms, press your seams to the dark side or press your seams open or whatever, there's a constant lot of pressing. And actually, at the moment, if your pressing is, oh, I need to go over to the ironing board here, I need to set up the iron, I need to uncurl it and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and then I'm coming back, and maybe you sit and do your fabric work. So you've got to stand up and go to the ironing board and go and do da-da-da-da-da, and then come back, sit down again. This is brilliant because you can just pick it up, you can just have it to your side. It's no bigger than, well, it's slightly bigger than A4, I suppose.
It is.
The size feels like that.
I sit my sewing machine on top of it.
Yeah.
So it's literally folded. I've got my sewing machine on top. It's also a good one as well if you've got a bit of a noisy sewing machine because you can almost put the machine on it that way as well. But also with the iron and the ironing board, my iron, I don't know about yours, is full of holes. Now, I don't mean, obviously, it's full of holes, but you've got your ironing board cover, but you've almost got like a mesh system underneath.
Yes.
So half of the heat that you're actually applying is going right the way
Straight
through.
yeah.
So that's something worth considering. But as I say, I've been using these for many, many years, and I know they're always popular.
Yeah, they are. And again, it's the thing, it's being able to work on a smaller scale, which is why the one-day special comes with a little iron as well. Because how often have you seen, you might just be working on a 1-inch half-square triangle, and you've got to press that bag. Well, my iron, I only have one iron in my life, and it's one of those great big steam station iron with a big, powerful jet. It's like something a fireman should use.
Yes.
Like, it's huge. So it would be no good for quilting.
And you've got to think about your fingers as well. When you're working on something like you say that's just 1.5 inches square, you don't want to be using too big an iron on there. You want something that's going to be able to be big enough to work on it and not actually move the project around as well, because work with a larger iron, then you will find that you're going to be moving those pieces. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a good little one-day special, this, and you can kind of, as always, with one-day specials and offering, you can basically take what you want. So we've got you a nice little saving if you take the mat and the ironing cover with the iron as the one-day special. You've got how many different options? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a 5th option, which is called Stitch in Time, which we'll show you a picture of in just a second. But it does come with a little mini iron as well, and an iron that's actually easy to refill. Hooray! But we'll come back to that a little bit later on. Let's have a quick look at Stitch in Time, which is the 5th option, which we don't have a physical one of yet here, but we will have. It will happen, I'm sure. So there's that. So that's really nice. It's a nice little fabric with little notions on it. Actually, to be honest with you as well, doesn't this look just a little bit more attractive as well than, you know, a lot of ironing surfaces can look, you know, a bit meh, a bit,
pretty.
You know what I mean? Where this is nice, and you can key it in with the decor that's in your room that you work in, and it's grabbability for me because you can just grab it.
It's almost like a book on the shelf, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant, and you can see perfectly from that shot just the depth of that sponginess, as you were talking about there, and keeping some of your, you know, the bits and pieces that you're working on, keeping that in one place. It's almost a bit like having a jigsaw system where you can keep the jigsaw like done and just put that away, have dinner, and then come back. Anyway, right, okay, now you can buy the mat on its own. The details are at the bottom, or they're about to come onto the side of your screen, because a lot of you are going for that option as well. So if you've already got a little mini iron that you're loving and you're pleased with, that's great. You can still get involved in a bit of the action here in the 4-in-1 multi-mat here in its 5 different options, and that's just £24.99, which is really, really good. OK, because we are talking fabric, you can see there's some fabric behind me. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But here are some good and useful tools for you to have in your life when it comes to working with fabric. Absolutely, absolutely, everyone needs... Oh, sorry. OK, well, everyone needs one of these, and I'll come to that first. But I'm going to come to the basting glue first. See, in order of importance, I'd have gone that one first, then that one. But let's talk about basting glue first. Basting glue is excellent if you just want to keep two pieces of fabric together before you... I suppose this is a bit of an alternative to pinning, I guess, Hayley, isn't it?
It's almost like liquid pins, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah,
liquid pins.
Literally, it's just like a pen that you take the lid off, and you've got the adhesive that's kind of within the barrel there. Turn it just like you would a lipstick, and you can use that to add a temporary adhesive to anything. It could be two fabrics that you're wanting to put together that you don't necessarily want to pin. Things like PVC, things like your faux leather, things like that. And also, it's one of those ones perfect for your English paper piecing as well.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping your fabrics wrapped around.
So quick.
Yes.
For sticking to the paper, sticking the fabric to the papers
Exactly.
before you stitch.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. So I love that description, actually, liquid pins, because there's a lot of people like me that if you do use pins, and there's been various things that I've done which you do, and half the time they live in your thumb.
Yes, yeah.
And that's not a good place to be at all. So you get a pack of 5 of these. I've just got one here right now, but you can have a pack of 5 for just £19.99, which again is very, very good value for money, I have to say. Really, really good.
Brilliant.
Compared to the price you can pay for just one of something like this. And I've been on other sewing channels before coming to Hochanda, so I've seen other prices for other similar products. Now, this you need in your life. If you're going to be a quilter, if you're going to work with fabric, there are 1,005 different rulers that will be in your life once you work with fabric. And having them all in one place, because some of them are the most weird and wonderful shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And your drawers will not accommodate all of the rulers you'll have in your fabric life. True to say?
Well, the thing is, you don't put them away, do you?
No,
you want
true.
them out, and you want them so you can literally just grab at them and work with them straight away. I've just popped a few rulers in here just to illustrate how you can work with them. So whether they are your larger rulers, which you could quite easily put in these, or your smaller elements, then yeah, brilliant idea. You literally got all your grooves in there. To be honest, I have recently invested in a die cutting machine, as you probably will know if you follow me on social media. I think what you could actually potentially do is use it for things like your platforms.
Your plates.
So you'd have to try them out. Some of them might be, yeah, it's a little bit chunky, this particular one. But if you have got plates that using for other opportunities,
yes.
Might be that you've got boards with magnetic sheets on for things like your stamps and your dies, then you could actually put them in there. As I say, just be aware of the kind of groove that you've got in there with regard to the width of your rulers. So they are designed to work with your quilting rulers for that optimum width that you've got there. But
do you know what else you might use them for, H, as well, is your different kind of papers. You know, if you're doing like a crafting project and you need to have the papers in front of you for inspiration.
Yes.
You might stand up, you know, the higher GSM cards, for instance, you might stand them up in this just so they've got them, you know, to hand in your work area. You might use it for that. But as 2 Unlimited used to say, there's no limits on this because you can see the grooves are open-ended as well. So even if your ruler was, and don't take this as literal, but even if your ruler was 1/4 mile long, it'd still go in there.
That's it. And if you notice that you can actually hang this on the wall as well, because you've got the little kind of keyholes there as well.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be on your work surface.
So you can have this wherever you want to.
Yeah. Maybe not on the TV.
Perhaps not on a TV. Don't do it on a TV. Do it on a wooden surface. It was only for demonstration purposes only. Silly Billy.
We just take you literal.
Yeah. Don't do that. Did I just do that? Yeah, I did, probably. £12.99. That's very, very good as well. And you can get your regular rulers in there as well, because you've got smaller slots at the bottom there.
Yeah, haven't
so
you?
for your standy-uppy rulers...
I like that phrase.
You've got your regular rulers, haven't you?
You have as well. I forgot about my standy-uppy rulers. There you go. Standy-uppy ruler.
There we go. And they say standy-uppy as well. Marvellous. That's good for £12.99. Right, let's move on. 246515 is your item number then. It is your ruler and template organiser. Oh, yeah, templates as well. Yeah, of course, you've got lots of templates in the fabric world as well for your half square triangle and your golden geese and all of those that happen. Golden geese, flying geese, I probably mean. Let's go next to... Where are we going next, Charlotte? This is so sweet. It's one of the sweetest things. It's a Derrick ironing board. This is full size for me. For most people, though, this is their mini pressing board, and this is invaluable. If you're doing sleeves, if you're doing smaller detail, and you just, I mean, it's just the sweetest thing, isn't it?
It is. It works well with the one-day special iron as well. So if you are needing to, again, to press smaller items, and like you say, they're more cylindrical, you're wanting to get round and open up those seams and things, then yeah, nice idea.
It's good. It's really, really cool. It's made very, very well. As you can see, it's nice and sturdy. Does it fold down? Let's
It's like a little sledge as well, isn't it?
I think it does. Does it? Does it? Do you fold down? I think you... Yes. There, foldability.
It
Look
must
at
do,
that.
because I've got it in a box, so it's got to...
Yes.
Yes.
So that'll take up no space, well, hardly any space whatsoever when it's folded down. That'll just go in a drawer or something, or just, you know, next to you on the side. How sweet. Love it. $9.99. Not many places you can buy that kind of thing, actually.
I have to say, that's true, because I haven't seen them here before.
No.
Yeah.
Hams, you can buy quite a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Mini boards, not so much. Here's something a lot of people need in their life. And actually, if you've got like a mini iron, it almost has a double life as well, because it can double as a travel iron, of course. I speak as someone that travels quite a lot. Now, that's not the specific purpose of this ironing mat here, but it would be very, very useful for it as well.
Well, it's an affordable way of taking, like you say, an ironing board with you, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Well, without the faff and the weight.
Yes.
Because this is a quilted ironing mat. Again, this is brilliant. If you are putting together your smaller blocks, obviously you use your one-day special to do that. But once you've got your complete block, and you want to see it and press it in all of its fine majesty at the end, then this is the perfect surface to do that. Now, have we got the measurements of this hour, Charlotte? If not, I might have to borrow one of 55 by 60 centimetres. Right, OK, that's pretty good, isn't it?
That's like ½ a metre square, isn't it?
Yes,
Handsome.
pretty much so. Yeah, I love this. Hand wash only, this one. And I would imagine, because this is heat proof, this could also have a double life sitting in the middle of a dining table if there are hot dishes that have to come out, maybe.
It's a good point.
There's another use, potentially, for it. But for me, it would be the whole portability again.
Yeah. I mean,
same as we were saying with the one-day special.
And again, you could be making a little pouch for it to go in alongside your iron, couldn't you, quite easily?
Yeah.
And then,
well, I said, didn't I? I said, did the iron come with a little bag? It doesn't. It comes in a box. But, of course, as Hayley pointed out quite rightly, hello, we've got fabric here. Let's make one.
Yeah.
So you could do that very, very easily. But this, if you're travelling away and whatever, that folds up to next to nothing, no more than, well, a pair of flip-flops. You know what I mean? For travelling. Then you take your little iron from the one-day special, and that's it. You've got a travel iron, haven't you?
Nice.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's good for £11.99, and it's not... Wasn't me. Wasn't me. It was like that one I got here. $11.99. Right. Let's do threads now. And these, whenever you're talking about thread, I have to say your regular, everyday sewing machine thread, this is always the name. And it's not just because this is one of the only names that I've worked with. I've worked with many, many different thread companies before, but pretty much the most trusted, probably worldwide, Hayley, I'm sticking my neck out to say would be Gutermann.
Yeah, international company, I believe based in Germany. Whether they are now, I don't know.
Yeah.
But obviously the
that's
name
where
there
their
you
origins
can see
are.
with an umlaut on it. So yeah,
Umlaut.
Gutermann.
It's one of the only things I remember from German GCSE, umlaut.
Yeah. Have you seen the lid? The lid of the tin that you got?
Oh, it's so sweet because it's got this vintage 1930s look to it.
Isn't that beautiful?
There is a lady picking her Gutermann threads in 1930. A very interesting piece of headdress.
Fabulous,
isn't it? That's quite sweet. So you could use that tin. Well, you could keep your threads in that tin. A lot of people keep their threads here, there, and everywhere. And sometimes you divide them into colour families, etc., etc. So there are 30 100-metre spools. And if you were with me in many, many moons ago in another live, you could also play the very, very popular thread bingo with this, because every single thread has its own number as well. So if you want to replace threads in the future, you do it by number and know you've got the right colour. Because you can't just say yellow to a Gutermann thread, because there are
too many to choose from.
Exactly. There will be, I don't know how many different yellows in Gutermann thread. These are flying out of the door. And I'll tell you why, our Charlotte. 2 flexis, thank you very much. Usually when you buy thread, it's a considered purchase, isn't it? If you're stocking up or you're just magpieing on a channel like us and going, I like that, I need it in my life.
Yeah.
It's a considered one-off, now I've got to, it's January, and you've got to do all that, haven't you? But with this, because you can split that $39.99 down into 2 easy payments of just £20, no extra nothing, is there really? Yeah. So you pay £20 plus your P&P right now, we send it out straight away. That's it, job done. And then another £20 next month. And Gutermann thread, it's so wonderful. And you know you can always trust the consistency of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's a well-known brand. You go to any of the kind of quilting groups or sewing groups that you'll find on social media, and people will be recommending Gutermann threads. You'll notice on here that it's 100% polyester, but it's got that look of cotton about it.
Yes, it so has. And actually people, everyone I know, unless you're going for, if you're going for embroidery threads, then there are particular names that you go
Rayon,
to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When you're looking at your sewing machine threads, when you want that thread to absolutely key in with your fabric, it's always Gutermann. Always Gutermann. Even if you're looking for contrasting threads to your project, if you want something where you know the stitches are going to stay where they are.
That's it. And
do you know
of
what I
course,
mean? They're not going to get fraying.
And sometimes people will say, oh, but if you're working with 100% cotton, shouldn't you have 100% cotton thread? At one point, yes, but now the quality of polyester thread, as you see there, they give you the illusion of looking like cotton. They behave like cotton, but they've got much more durability than cotton has. And, of course, definitely one I would go for.
And, of course, Gutermann is a name that goes back and is trusted around the world. You know, you hear it talked about so much. Sorry, how much? Right, 20% of the stock of that has sold out and gone already. Now, this will probably feature in all of the one-day special shows, of which there will be one less than usual on this one, because the last live hour on this one-day special will be at midday tomorrow. So it's like a mini one-day special, if you like. If we sell out, though, of this in this hour, then that will be it. I don't think we'll have anything like it for the other shows. So I'll take advantage.
We always struggle at the weekend to kind of get extended delivery stuff because everybody's off. Who'd work at the weekend, eh?
It's a nice it's a nice little gifting set as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a lovely little gifting set. So if you know someone that just loves their sewing, loves their quilting, loves their dressmaking, you know, I mean, this thread is brilliant for all of those things, isn't it?
Or if you're buying a sewing machine for somebody and they know they're getting the sewing machine, it kind of, because they know and they've chosen the machine, might be somebody else buying it for them, it's kind of that element of surprise is gone.
It's true.
But something like this is something you could put alongside that machine and they've got that element of surprise because they weren't expecting those threads, and because of all the different colours in there, it's a very usable set. It's
very nice, isn't it? It's like one of those sort of crayon selections, isn't it, from when we were knee-high. I know I'm still there, but it's one of those that you... It's a magpie buy, isn't it? It's one of those you think, all right, I've got all my basic colours in there, and I've got my muted colours, I've got my neutrals. Yeah. So I've got good whites and, you know, darkers, there's greys in there as well. But then you go, ooh, I'm liking that mustardy yellow in the top. That's rather nice. And I'm liking the orange next door. And I'm liking these reds, and I'm liking that. And then down in the blues, you're thinking, well, that's quite a good selection. In some of these selection boxes, sometimes you get the really, like, piercing colours and you only have, like, one or two of them. Here, they're sort of curated into nice little colour families as well. We could spend the whole hour on this, but alas, we don't have time. A quarter now of the stock is sold out and gone. Most importantly for me on this one, it's like a special edition as well, isn't it, with that sort of vintage tin as well. I quite like that. But for me, the ability to split that down into 2 payments, for me, is the most important thing. It's January, after all. We're not rolling in cash right now, are we? So 2 flexible payments of £20, and that is yours. Right, OK, enough for now. We'll be back, though, for that. Bonderweb. Oh, fabrics. Bonderweb, sorry, I've gone in the wrong order. I chose the order, and I've now gone out of it. Sorry. Bonderweb. Bonderweb, everyone wants to have, don't they? It's so useful. Yeah. If you're stabilising your fabrics for applique, it just makes your fabrics more substantial, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, and it's just a brilliant way for you to get the fabric in place without the need for pins. Sometimes pins are useful, sometimes clips are useful, but sometimes you want a completely flat adhesion. You don't want the pins to kind of ruffle your fabrics. And with these, if you are doing any form of applique, absolutely perfect to go for. You basically iron it onto the back of your fabric. You can then cut your fabric and it won't fray. And then, of course, that fabulous adhesive that you've got is activated when you press your iron down on it, hopefully a one-day special iron, and of course it adheres the two together, and then you can go on and stitch them in place to keep the permanent kind of adhesion there.
Absolutely. So it has the smooth sort of baking paper feel side, and then it has the the adhesive, which actually I can show you because it's there as that thinner layer.
And some of these as well, and I think with this one you may be able to, but do err on the side of caution. The actual paper, the carrier sheet, you may well find that if you've got an inkjet printer, you can actually put it through your printer as well and print your applique designs directly onto it.
That's a really, really good idea.
I do it with my freezer paper, yeah.
Good idea. Yeah, so that's kind of like a 2-in-1 as well then, isn't it? 5 metres by 30 centimetres. I did that the wrong way around. 30 centimetres by 5 metres. There you go. £18.99. Right, fabric. Let's go back to something I do know. I do know, yeah. Are we doing this now, Charlotte? Are we? Are we? We're doing the fabric now, everyone. Right, we have got from Fabric Freedom, we've got duos, coloured duos for you in fabulous fabric, and I'll run you through them very, very quickly because I'm aware of time. And Hayley's thinking, ooh, shall I do a demo in this hour, or shall we just we'll run through everything that we've got in the show, and then there'll be 2 minutes left. So let me take you through the colour options and what we've got here. So in every option, you've got a ½ metre of the spot fabric, which is lovely. Beautiful, beautiful texture, because it's almost a little bit like it's almost like a faux bleached fabric. I love it. And then the other one is a floral. So we've got lots and lots of different colour options. Should we just have a whiz through them? Because they're all £9.99, and you'll get the 2 ½ metres in whichever colour you choose. So let's go through. So we've got the beige, and then we've got the light green, which is rather delightful, isn't it? Which is beautiful. Then we've got light blue, which is a nice little colour combo there. Then we've got sky blue. Oh, actually, it is almost like cloudy in the background, actually, isn't it? I quite like that. And then we've got the dark purple. You get the spotty and you get the floral there as well. These are fabulous blending fabrics. I've lost the ability to speak, Hayley. That's no good, is it? Then we've got your light purple. Again, a nice ditzy. I mean, you could use these independently of each other, but they do match, so you can use them in the same project. You've also got your lilacs there as well. It's a lovely fine print. It's not far off my shirt print, actually, this, is it? If you think about it a little bit. He says, trying to edge that into the shot. There you go. So a nice fine floral. Very, very nice indeed. And you've got a pink option here as well, which is very bright, very sort of candy floss pink, isn't it? Love that. All of those, and you can have a closer look on the website, of course, they are £9.99, so you get a ½ metre of each in whichever colour you choose. There are lots and lots of colours to choose as well. Right, more fabrics. Here they are. 3 ½ metres. Ooh. So you choose your option colours in that one. Oh, OK, so we've got a green and blue. There's a yellow and red. That's nice, isn't it? You've got a neutral. You've got essentials. You've got pinks as well. And your lilacs for £12.99. So 1½ metres of fabric. I mean, that's big, big savings, isn't it? Really, really big savings. So if you're after some fabric, today could be the day. Usually we do more fabricy things on a Sunday, don't we? It's quite nice to have them around on a Saturday as well. Right, OK, back to the one-day special then, which is going to be ever so popular. There are 5 different options for you. It's a 4-in-1. There's lots you can do with it. So, Hayley, where are we going to start in this hour?
Well, the iron is cool at the moment, so I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll show you how you can actually add the water to the onboard reservoir that you've got on this one. We'll get it plugged in, and then you'll be able to see just how quickly it does heat up. So, when you're actually filling it with water, you need to make sure that it's cold. So, this is completely cold. Straight out the box. And what you've got on the back here, you will actually get your full instructions with this as well. I know when we've done shows before, people have asked about the voltage on this one. So it's a single voltage plate. You've got your non-stick sole plate on there, as you can see, and this will explain to you all the different fundamentals about the iron. There's not many components to it, but just to kind of explain it. And also down at the bottom there, you've got your guides with your little dots for your different fabrics that you're going to be working with, as you can see there. So yeah, you've got the kind of regular information. That's what you'd normally find on the label care, isn't it, really? So nothing out of the ordinary. Now, it is a collapsible iron, so what you've got here, you've got a button at the back. Now, the button at the back, if I just move the cable out of the way, that is the one that you're going to press, and that will allow you then to actually turn the iron around. So, I'm doing it back to front, so there you go. That's why it didn't go right. So you can see that completely flat with regard to that. The box that it comes in, a really kind of a good size box. But if you do want to make yourself a little bag to put that in, then that's very easily done. And then all you need to do is when you are going to use it is bring the ironing, the handle up, it will click in place, you'll hear that click, and you know that it's locked in place. It won't go anywhere now until you actually press that button again. Now, just above that button, you've got a little kind of slidey area here, which when you pull it back, you probably just see that it just releases not an awful lot of amount, but what you do is you kind of pull that back and pull the handle forward. There's a bit of a knack to this one when I was doing it, because there you go, you can see it's lifting out there. There you go. So your reservoir comes out, and that will kind of go back into that space when you are ready to use it again. So, and I think what will happen is as time goes on, it will probably release up a little bit. This is a brand new iron there, so you kind of got that spring action with regards to that.
So much easier than having to, I don't know if you've done this ever in hotels as well, but if you need water for your iron, because the way silly hotels are, you have to take the iron and its flex, which never feels safe, to the bathroom, to the tap, to fill it. It's ridiculous. With that, you take the handle off, and then you fill the handle. You're nowhere near electricity and water.
Yeah.
They don't mix for a reason.
Yes,
so they never come close to each other.
Some hotels, depends on where you stay in, some hotels, the actual iron is kind of stuck in the wall.
Oh, that's true.
You can't take it anywhere.
Yeah, you can't move it. Yeah.
Obviously, they've had residents that have tried to take it with them when they've gone, so it's one of those ones that you can't actually get it anywhere near to the tap in the first place.
Yeah, you want to tell us anything, Hayley?
No, honestly, no. I've got half.
They're always rubbish anyway, aren't
they? Irons at home anyway.
They've usually got 3 old suits stuck to the sole plate, haven't they?
Not good at all.
Anyway.
So when you actually detach the water tank, you've got a little rubber bung at the end there, and that's where you're going to actually put the water. So that literally will just come out like so. And obviously you've got your little jug that you're just going to use that and actually add your water in to the reservoir. And you have got your little markings on your little jug as well, so you don't overfill it. I'm not going to put too much water in there because I will knock it over and it will go everywhere. So pop that little bung back in place, just make sure it's secure in there, and then obviously you've got the ability to just clip that back in place, make sure it's secure, and again that little kind of notch that you've got there will hold that in place, and then you're ready to go. And then I'm just going to plug it in, so excuse me bending down to plug it in, but I purposely didn't want to plug it in until we got started, so you can see just how quickly it heats up. Obviously you've got your cable there with your protective carrier on it there as well, so just going to plug that in like so. You've got your dial on there, which obviously you can put on whichever setting you're wanting, and obviously if you're putting water in and you're taking it to the highest temperature, then it will activate the steam in there. So you've got your little kind of marker there, which you can take it to wherever you need to, and obviously your different fabrics featuring with there as well. So I'm just going to press that to the side, and if you do want to activate the water, then you have got the ability to obviously press that and it will pump through. At the moment it's not pumping through. There you go. Oh gosh, that was a jet and a half.
It was quite a punch, that, wasn't it?
My goodness.
I mean, for an iron that's no bigger than the palm of your hand, that
made me jump, actually. I didn't expect it.
What?
Say.
How funny.
There you go, didn't expect that. So that's pretty much ready to go already. So what I'm going to do is I've just got a piece of fabric here. So just very quickly, it's similar to the fabric that we've actually got on the show, Fabric Freedom, so I'm just pressing that down just to flatten it out, because we're going to cut it actually using the little cutting mat that we've got obviously as part of the one-day special. But there you go, taking out those creases as we go, and it's they're quite stern creases in there. Obviously if you do need to give it a press, then you can do, and then obviously that will take out any of those.
Oh, so that's the steam button then, because normally that button in that position on an
squirt.
iron is for a spray of water, isn't it?
Squirt out.
How often do you press the wrong one and spray the water when you meant the steam?
So that's going to get rid of any of those kind of tough areas that you've got, and you can see obviously you've got the little flower element there, which is where the steam's going to come from. Shall we?
Yeah, go on.
Look at that.
That is quite
That is a powerful
heft, actually, isn't it?
Powerful. I need to refill it with water again before long, don't I? So there we go. So we've got our fabric there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the mat. I'm actually going to fold it back in half again because I've got a longer strip here, and what I'm doing is I'm going to actually cut a piece of fabric that we're going to be able to use with the iron, because we're going to make our own bias tape with this. So got a ruler here, one of the handmade by Hayley rulers, and I'm just going to place it at the end there on the fold line, and we're just going to cut some fabric. Of course, you've got your markings on your mat, so if you do want to actually use the markings on your mat, you can do, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it across to the first marking there, so it's going on to 0, and then I'm going to cut a piece of fabric, and I'm going to make it, let's make it 2 inches wide.
Hayley, I think your name needs to be bigger on those rulers.
My name?
Yeah.
My little name there.
Yeah, it needs to be bigger.
You think?
Yeah, needs to make it bigger next time.
Okay.
Like 1 per inch square.
Well, yeah, didn't want to because the important thing was the grid.
You're very modest, though, aren't you?
Yeah,
very modest.
Yeah,
That's a dilly little Hayley there.
It is a little tiny handmade by Hayley, but yeah, okay, I will take that on board. Thank you.
Which you'll find if you shop by brand here at Hochanda.com.
Exactly.
Handmade by Hayley.
And this little ruler is one of 3 actually that come in the set. So the other ones that I'm going to be working with during the course of the show. These are useful as well. Basically, what I wanted to do is, I know there's loads and loads of different quilting rulers out there, but I wanted to bring something because one of my passions is teaching people to have the confidence to have a go. And the quilting rulers out there are brilliant, but there are lots and lots of different kind of markings on there, which I think can be a little bit distracting, a bit confusing exactly when you're getting started, because you're talking about 7/8, you're talking about all these different measurements. So with this one, I stripped back the complications and just made it so the black markings are your complete inches, and then the red markings are your quarter inches. So breaking it down like so, and obviously you've got your square element here, but you've also got your mitered edge here, which is useful when you come to do things like your bias tape. Part of the ruler system is you're going to have your little bias binding square, which we're going to use in just a few moments. So that comes alongside it. A bit bigger, the handmade by Hayley on that one.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's
that one okay?
right. Suitable
Does
size,
that
that
pass
one. Yeah, that's better. I love that tool, by the way. I was watching one of the shows this week, the one you did with Natasha this week.
Natasha was using it, yeah.
And she absolutely, and I saw that and I thought, I've seen like big, huge like brands, bias tape makers, and I've thought, that looks like wizardry, like you need a degree to use that. That couldn't be any simpler, could it?
It's kind of it's taken 3 years in the making to actually get it right and to us here.
It's brilliant.
And the system itself, I mean, it's quite a simple system, but I wanted to make sure that it was colourful, because I don't know if you've realised, a lot of quilting rulers that you get, you might only get 2 colours on there. Sometimes it's only 1 colour print. And this is when I teamed up with Crafts 2, and John got his little research head on, and he got out there and he found us a manufacturer that will apply as many colours as we needed. So we've got obviously your black there showing you stronger, and then obviously you've got your instructions and the blue there for your binding. But what that really was about is I wanted the different colours with the actual patchmaker square, because this square itself will allow you to create 3 different sizes of kind of cut pieces, and we'll go on to this over the 24 hours. So well, not 24 hours, we'll get out of the habit of saying that, just less than 24 hours. And you've got your 2-inch, your 3-inch and your 4-inch patch pieces that you're going to be able to make with these, whether they're squares, half square triangles or quarter square triangles, all within that one ruler.
That's which
and
is,
it's really easy to work with.
Which is crazy. And you know, that's almost like, it's almost like a Penn and Teller behind the curtain kind of situation, because you can have, for that one ruler that Hayley's just shown you there, I could find you 30 plus different rulers.
Yeah.
And one would do one job, and one would do one job, and one would do one job at 1 inch, and one would do it at 1.5 inches, and one would do it at 2 inches, and one would do it at 3 inches. It's bonkers. No wonder people run for the hills when they hear the word quilting, because it can be so bamboozling, and you think, well, if I've never done it, but I've got a sewing machine and roughly know what I'm doing with a sewing machine, this quilting thing, you need so much gear. I've spent another £10,000 before I've even bought a piece of fabric to start working.
Yeah.
And that just demystifies it.
I am very proud about it, I must admit. And we're going to use that now. Good. So I've cut my fabric to 2 inches, which when you actually look at the instructions on there, because this is the thing, it tells you there that you need to cut your fabric to double the width of that. So you've got your 2 inches finished there, so you cut your fabric to 4 inches wide. So I'm actually going to be using the 1 inch one that's at the side here. And you've got 2 little markings there, and that's where we're going to feed the fabric through. Incidentally, the overall square on this one is 3.5 inches, so you can use that to make your patches as well if you wanting to, or square off your little patches as you go. And obviously you've got your corner markings, your centre markings, and all those useful little things that you've got in there. But
do you know, that might come in useful, I know, apropos of nothing almost, but that might also be useful in your paper crafting as well, when you know that you need a 3-inch square for a topper or a mat or a layer or something. I mean, you'll use it for that as well. Yeah.
So what I've done is I've taken my strip, and you do this with any size of the strips that you work on. And basically, what I do is I bring the 2 halves together. Now, if you're making, it depends on which type of tape you're making, really. Sometimes you might just want to fold it in half and feed it through that way. But I kind of do it all in one action here. I know when Natasha was doing it, she folded it in half and then fed it through a second time, but it's entirely up to you. So just press down the end like so, using your iron, which of course by now is hot, and it makes that little kind of marker that you've got there. And then all you need to do is literally feed it through. Now it's up to you whether you want to do it face up, face down. I tend to do it face down, I must admit. And all I do is I bring it up through the innermost slot and down through the outermost slot. and then I'll just take a couple of little pins. You can sometimes get those kind of fork pins that you can use if you're wanting to. And because of this particular mat, it's a really good one because you can just take those pins, pop them in, and that's going to keep your fabric in place. Now, with the actual quilting, the binding square itself, if you just use, you can use a little bit of heat from just friction and pass that backwards and forwards. Or what you can do is actually take your iron, and you can take your iron right the way up to that and then move it along like so, and it's making your tape as you go there, and it's being fed through at the right width. Now, if you do want to keep an eye on where your fold lines are, then that's fine. Just do it the opposite way around, so you can turn it over and press it down like so, and then you can keep an eye on where that seam is. And again, just put your iron down in place and then just feed it through. Ooh, move that out of the way.
And the thing is, folks, this strip of fabric could be 3 miles long.
That's true. And actually, I just need to flip that over because of the way that I've done it.
And you've got one tool, and
yes.
you would just need to feed that through once, through that. And okay, it's never going to be 3 miles, but some
it can be whatever length you need it to be.
Some circumferences of quilts are a long way round.
Yeah, and you can do that because all you need to do is, and you'll see if you run out of space, I mean on this one I've only cut it long enough to actually feed through. But again, give it a little rub if you're wanting to, so you can get that friction heat and it will start it going. Or what you can do is just press down on your iron, and you can actually run your iron along the edge of it. It won't melt, and then all you're doing with your left hand as you go is kind of just nudging it into the area of where you're needing it to go. So just holding those two, what I often do is just put my little finger in there and just hold it together, and then just let it run along, and it will freely flow through. If you get to the point where you run out, then all you're doing, this might be if you are working on a much longer meterage of this, it's just you pull the whole thing across and then just put it back in place, and then off you go again. And again, just get it started if you wanted to, or just literally just take it for a couple of inches and then just feed it through, and off it goes again.
Do you know why this is so genius as well? Is because I've seen other tape makers and they stand up. They have to be stood the right way up to work. And if you tried pushing the iron with it, they'd probably topple over sideways, which would take you into all kinds of twists and turns, and you go, no, I'm just going to go out and buy some. Yeah. This allows you to make your tapes in any fabric that you want, because of course the pre-made ones, they're never in the fabric you want. And so that's why having something like this,
matching, isn't it? Perfect
it's absolute
matching.
Genius. And you only really the iron really is almost the driver if you want it to be.
That's it, yeah. And obviously the iron, the one that we've got in the one-day special, but then if it comes to the case that you're needing to fold it over again, then you can just fold it over, and if you're wanting to, you just hold it and kind of press it. But again, if you're wanting to, you can either feed it through. Now, we haven't got a slot for that, which is now 1/2 inch, but what you can do if you want to is take it through the smallest slot and kind of use the edge of the slot there as your guide, and then again just
then it's going to be doing the same thing, isn't it?
And it's going to do exactly the same. So it's very adaptable. This was the first one that we brought out, but we are looking at bringing other ones for different kind of jobs and different purposes. But
I
again,
love it. Honestly, anyone that works with bias tape in any way in their fabric work will be like, where's this been all my life?
Well, Natasha was saying she used to hate applying a bias tape and making bias tape.
It's a nightmare.
There you go.
It's a nightmare because of course, by virtue of the fact that you're working on the bias, the fabric's not helping you, is it?
There you go.
So you need that tool just to keep everything in place. So what are the fixed sizes on that tool that we've got the slots for?
So you kind of got the most used ones for quilting. That's where it started. But I am thinking of one with smaller for things like stained glass. You know, when you stained glass projects, the 3K. So yeah, the widest one is your 2 inches. So you would actually cut your fabric at 4 inches for that one, as it says in the red instructions there. So you can't easily forget it. Then of course you have got your 1.5 inch, you've got your 1 3/4 and your 1 inch as well with regards to those.
See, that's so good because again, you might think, wow, they put the most simplest of things on the ruler. But if it's just fallen out of your mind, okay, well I want a 1.5 inch tape, so how wide do I need to cut the fabric, and what does you've got to go and look at a book. You've got to go and find, where was that bit of information? Who was it I was watching on telly that said so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so? Where's the show that came from? And in the end, you won't do it. Do you know what I mean? So to have it spelled out to you as plain as day, as plain as it can be, on the ruler. It's such a simple thing, Hayley, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Such a simple thing, but no one else is doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's all there. It's there in
Shall I
plain
quickly
letters.
show you the other ruler? Since we've spoken about the two, I might as well show you the third,
Go
and then
for it.
actually
Why don't
show
you
you the
change our
cutting
lives
area
here?
as well. So again, this particular ruler, this is the one that's going to help you create things like your half square triangles. And I do promise you, if you are a complete novice, I will be explaining the science of those to you in the coming up hours. 8 o'clock is probably a good time for us to do that.
Yeah.
So this particular ruler, as I say, it's going to allow you to cut out your different size pieces. So you need a straight edge to start with. So again, you can take your obviously your ruler that we were talking about, just line that up, put one of the lines across the bottom there, and just literally scoot up the edge.
Oh. Oh.
My nuts come loose.
It has, isn't it? She's got a screw loose, everyone. We have got a rotary cutter on.
It's official. It's official.
It
Have
confirmed.
you got something that you need to do just while I fix my rotary
Confirmed
cutter?
on national television on a Saturday night. Hayley West has a screw loose. And while she recovers it, let's have a little recap, shall we? We have got a rotary cutter on the show. Now, we haven't got a physical one here, and it's not Hayley's, don't worry.
I've been doing a lot of cutting.
It will stay together. 45mm, which is the... there are two basic sizes in quilting and dressmaking for rotary cutters. There are various sizes, but two main sizes are 28, which is smaller for more detailed, and 45mm, which is great for quilting because the kind of sizes of fabric and the lengths and the widths of fabric you'll be doing, you'll need a rotary cutting wheel that has got that heft, let's say, to it. I like that word. Hoomph. Roomph. This one comes with a spare blade as well, which is brilliant. So you've got the one that's in it and a spare as well, which is really, really good. Now, what else should we show you as well? We've also got... now this is a really, really good little set, actually. So in this, you've got a set of Quilters Tape. You've got a Quilters pencil as well for marking your fabric. And you also have the Star and Geese template. Now, Hayley will talk to you about geese, and I said golden geese earlier. I meant flying geese. It's one of... Is there a golden goose as well? Oh, that's the pub, yeah. So it's flying geese for the quilting and golden goose for the pub. Other pubs are available, but we can't go at the moment anyway, so don't worry about that. We're not advertising anything that's happening right now. Anyway, Quilters Tape. Hayley, what is Quilters Tape?
Quilters Tape is a double-sided adhesive, so it's something that you can use. Sometimes you can use it as a marking for your 1/4 inch if you're wanting to. Yep. You can also use it to, well, put anything in place. It's just got that light adhesive. You can actually stitch through it as well. So if you do want to use it to kind of put your two layers together temporarily, it's nothing that you use heat with. It's just sticky tape. But it's a 1/4 inch, and of course it's designed so as if you do need to stitch through it, not all tapes can be stitched through. You've got to think about the mechanism of your sewing machine.
Right, so it is designed for fabric. Right, 1, 2, 3, 6, 2, 8. What a silly thing to say, Derek. It's called Quilters Tape. Anyway, that's available on the show as well. We also have diamond templates on the show as well. Very, very simple, very, very easy, very clear to use as well. Templates in the quilting world will be your friend, let me tell you, because it opens up a realm of possibilities where you get the template out and you think, well, it's just a skewed off triangle, isn't it? Well, what that can create in your quilting, you will not believe, because it's far more than just diamonds as well. The blocks that can come from shapes like that are amazing. Once you start quilting, you're going to love it. 846456 at $14.99. Then we go hexagonal, which is 7. Is that 7 sides on a hexagon, isn't it? That's like 50p piece, isn't it?
Oh, 6.
6.
Hexagon, heptagon,
Oh, heptagon. Is that...
octagon. Yeah, so that's 7, isn't it? Hept.
Blimey. Oh. Actually, I need to sit cross-legged in front of all of these programmes.
We need a bit of homeschooling.
Educational programmes, yeah, I need some homeschooling. Any offers, anyone? $14.99 for your hexagonal 8-piece template set. 882666. We also have a Quilters craft paper, graph paper even, on the show, and it's 12 by 12, which is brilliant. Now, this is good for planning out your blocks,
It
Hayley?
is, yeah. You can see down the left-hand side there. It gives you the opportunity to colour in, basically, as you go. So you can see there you've got your different sizes of your blocks, potentially, that you're going to be creating, and you've got your grid pattern in there. So if you've got a design that you're wanting to make, then it's a nice way of recording those designs.
Ah. So this kind of puts you in the designer's seat.
You make it, yeah, rather than doing your traditional quilt. Sometimes you want something a little bit different. It might be that you want to quilt a letter. Then it gives you a nice way of actually using those. Use your cross-stitch patterns and your knitting patterns as well, because if you've got designs that are in those, they're on grid paper as well, so you can transfer them over to a block.
I suppose another plus of having that paper as well is if you've got a block that you really, really love, having it recorded and sat next to you if you're making it multiple times in different fabrics, just having that reference point sat next to you.
Yeah.
Is this half square triangle the right way around, you know? Is this golden goose flying backwards or forwards? It's useful to have as a reference. So £9.99 there gets you 2 packs there, and they are 12 by 12. Right, I can't believe we've only got 5 minutes left in the show, Hayley. Where did that actually go?
I don't know, we weren't expecting it.
Feels like 10 minutes have gone and it's nearly an hour later.
Now, what I've done is I've squared off my fabric. So you can see this is just a regular piece of fabric here. I think it's a fat quarter that I've got here. And I've just given myself a raw edge down this side. So you can see we've got all the raw edges on that side. And I've got the raw edges along here as well. Because when you're actually working with the Patchmaker square, you need to have 2 raw edges to get started with. But you can see here, minimal fabric has been wasted in that process. I say wasted, it's gone into my little bag because I'll still use it. Yeah. Now the idea is with this particular Patchmaker, what you're going to do is where you've got the little holes, can you see the little holes that go along there? It's a bit tricky for us to show you, but
like in the
basically
corner.
Where the lines join, the lines join, there's a little hole. That needs to sit on that raw edge that you, kind of that corner that you created there. And then you decide what you're going to cut. So if I put it with the actual edge of the quilt ruler, I'm going to be able to cut a square that I could then use to make 4-inch quarter square triangles. If I wanted half square triangles, then I take it down to the next line. And if I wanted my 4-inch square, then I would take it down to the next line. So these are all the different lines that you need to actually create your different size pieces, because it's fundamental that you have the right size square when you're working with them. These are all created using the exact same square as that one, but when you start working with your seams and taking out those 1/4 inches, you can see how the difference in size happens. So that's why you have to have a different measurement. But rather than needing to know the actual measurement, I mean, I could say to you, yeah, okay, so if you're doing your, I don't know, your 3-inch half square triangles, you need to cut your piece at 4.5 inches. But it's all numbers. That's where it gets confusing, I think.
It sends your brain in a twist.
It does, yeah.
And I think, quite frankly, it's because Hayley doesn't, I think she's got a reluctance to sitting down and writing 50-page manuals for rulers. That's what it is. So she's put everything you need on the ruler itself. It's brilliant, though, because it takes all of that. Oh, now what was it again? If it's a 3/4, this, that, and the other, like it just takes all of that confusion. It just makes it easier.
And that's where you can make mistakes.
Yes.
When you're actually doing the maths.
Very easily.
So, say we were working on a block and I wanted to use 3-inch size pieces. So I go to the blue lines here. So if I want my quarter square triangles, which is where you've got your square split into quarters and they're triangles, see how it works? Then I need to follow that line where the arrow says use this line for 3-inch quarter square triangles. So I take that down. So those 2 lines are now on my raw edges that I've cut. And then all I need to do is I cut upwards and away from myself up to there. Now you don't even need to go very far beyond the ruler, because what you can do is actually, if your blade, I think I might need to change my blade as well, let alone put my screw back in place. You can just flip that over there and go across your fabric like so. I'm just going to do it a couple of times, and then you can see there again minimal fabric that you're actually cutting. So now I can go off and I can do any of my techniques that I want to do to create my quarter square triangles, but I know those are my 3-inch quarter square triangles. Then I've got that lovely neat edge there that I can come in again, and if I want to do any more, then I can do so. I think I've got about 4 layers there. So again, I could cut more of those quarter square triangles. Might be then I actually need some half square triangles. So again, I take that little point there on the corner of that right angle that I've created, and then go up away from me, just a little bit beyond, again, fold that fabric out of the way, flip it up, and then just go across again, but all using the fabulous cutting mat that we've got. It's quite a few layers that I've got there, so obviously when you are working with it, do make sure that you've got a sharp blade. I'm going to change mine before the next show.
Yes, we need a new blade because you've got a long day.
There you go. So you can see those 2 squares are different sizes, and they need to be different sizes to accommodate for all the different pieces that you're creating, because there's a square, I'll show you with these ones. All of these 3 shapes, the triangles, started out with squares that size. So that might be the size of the patch that you're wanting within your block.
Yeah.
But if you then think, oh, well, I want to make it into 2 triangles, I'll cut it down the diagonal and I'll stitch them together, which is great. But what happens is, when you stitch them together, you're going to lose some of that fabric in your seam, which means that the square that you're creating is actually smaller than the square that you wanted to create.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because everyone thinks, if you're new to patchwork, quilting, whatever it may be, you think, OK, well, I want a 3-inch square on my quilt, so I'll just cut 3 inches out. And then you realise that, no, because it needs to fit to a piece of fabric that side, that side, that side, that side. Like, there's so many other variables.
That's it, yeah.
So in 8 o'clock, what can we expect?
Well, I'll be talking more about the patches and explaining how those patches come together to create your overall block. And we'll be talking about the different sections of a quilt as well, unravelling. You've got your cornerstones and your sashing, so explaining to you what those all are as well.
Sashing. Is that anything to do with windows? You'll have to wait until 8 o'clock to find out. Listen, if you've got anything in your basket right now, there's so much very, very popular. The Gutermann thread is really, really popular. That, by the way, when it is gone, I've been told. We've got a finite number of those. So when they are gone, they are gone. So I'll just give you a very, very quick reminder, because half of the stock of that has gone. Remember, you can split that down into 2 flexes as well. It is 30 of the brilliant Gutermann sew-all thread in this wonderful 1930s kind of vintage style box, the tin that they come in, which is beautiful. 30 spools of 100 metres. Thank you, Hayley. See you at 8 with Paula.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
I think it is. Right, lovely. Stay right where you are, of course. There is lots more to come here at Hochanda this evening on the